Joan Bennett, Gary Cooper, Francis Langford, and Edward Arnold.
Hi, Bud.
Yes, what is it?
Ain't you forgetting somebody important?
Oh. Oh, yes, of course. And also Fibber McGee and Molly.
Okay, McGee, you can take that gun out of his ribs now.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor. Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Tonight, our stage is graced by a truly great Gulf Theater cast. 6 of your favorite stars, Fibber McGee and Molly, Gary Cooper, Joan Bennett, Edward Arnold, and Francis Langford. A cast that only this program, the Star's own program, can bring you. You'll hear them all in an original story by Sam Perrin, Don Quinn, and Leonard Levinson, and we think it's one of the funniest comedies we've ever presented. Our music, of course, will be furnished by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra, with Frank Tours conducting. Because we have such a large cast tonight, it'll be a few seconds before we get things all lined up and ready to go. So, while we're waiting, I'd like to speak in the interest of 35,000 friends of yours. They're your neighborhood good Gulf dealers. I'm speaking to you in their behalf about the services they're ready to render when you come into their stations. These services involve much more than just filling your tank with gasoline. They include courtesy services, such as wiping your windshield, checking your tires, giving road information, checking your oil level, your radiator, wiping off the lights, and many other things. Gulf dealers render these services with a smile because they know such cheerful services are a part of their business. They also try to be good housekeepers by maintaining attractive stations with clean facilities, which make your stop at a Gulf station a real pleasure. So stop at the sign of the Gulf orange disc. Get Gulf no-nox gasoline, Gulf Pride oil, and some of that good Gulf service. Our cast for tonight is just entering the Gulf Theater stage. The audience greets them with a tremendous burst of applause. There's Molly with Fibber McGee and Francis Langford, Gary Cooper with Joan Bennett and Edward Arnold, all stepping to the various microphones. And now, the house lights fade and the show is on. The scene opens in a small back room of a small hotel in Hollywood. We find 2 people who have taken the late Horace Greeley's advice late and come west. Object, movie contracts. People, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Well, we never get in the movies this way, dearie.
What you mean, Molly?
Well, how can we impress any movie big shots living in a dinky little hotel room like this? Wouldn't the clerk give you a better room?
I didn't ask for this. The guy asked me if we wanted cross ventilation, and I says no. We don't want any unpleasantness of any kind.
Well, if you've made any progress toward getting our name in lights, you've kept it dark for me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I got a letter of introduction.
Whom to?
Edward Arnold, president of the Screen Actors Guild. That's to whom?
Not really. Who wrote it?
I did.
Well, at least we'll be highly recommended. But for goodness sakes, let's use it. The only concrete thing we've done so far is look at the footprints in the cement over the Chinese theater.
Well, I would have taken you inside, but we don't understand Chinese.
Oh.
Don't you get it, Molly? I said...
Ain't funny, McGee.
I thought it was highly amusing. In a sad sort of a way.
Just the same, I want to meet some movie stars. Now, when do we call on Mr. Arnold?
Oh, he can't go tonight. I read in one of the gossip columns that he's throwing a party this evening.
Oh, fine. Mm-hmm. You can tear up your letter of introduction and write us an invitation to the party, huh?
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, listen to this. Dear Fibber and Molly.
That's very friendly.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, Eddie's real democratical.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Fibber and Molly, some of my friends are going to drop in to dinner tonight. I write like lightning. And I would like very much for you to.
Well, ain't he the one?
Sincerely yours, Edward Arnold. P.O.S., yeah. Please excuse the pencil.
Well, now, wasn't that nice of Mr. Arnold? I wonder how he knew we were in town.
Now, never mind that now. We got to hurry up and get dressed.
That's right, dearie. He was nice enough to invite us, and the least we can do is be on time.
Okay. I got to put on a clean shirt?
Have you got a clean shirt?
No.
Then you don't have to put one on. Say, did you read who else is going to be at the party, McGee?
Yeah, hand me my necktie. Yeah, Gary Cooper's going to be there.
He is?
Mm-hmm.
Why, he's my favorite actor.
Well, what about me?
How should I know who your favorite actor is?
Well, it's Joan Bennett, and she's going to be there, too. And so is my favorite singer, Frances Langford.
Oh, that's fine. Say, how does this new hat look, dearie?
Swell.
Well, I'm all ready. Does my slip show?
Yes, but it won't if you put your dress on.
What?
There, how does the table look now, Edward?
Oh, it looks fine, Joan. You know, I'm sorry to have to impose on you like this, but of all times, when I'm giving a party, my butler and cook walk out on me.
Why'd they leave?
They didn't like my last picture. But I've called an employment agency, and they're sending a couple over as soon as they can.
Fine, let's check the seating arrangement.
All right, now let me see. Sits there, there and there. Gary Cooper sits there, Frances Langford in that chair, and you in that chair.
Well, that leaves only 3 empty chairs.
Well, don't worry, I'll squeeze in somehow. Now, there's the doorbell.
Let me answer it. I want to learn how in case my help doesn't like my next picture. Hello.
Hello.
Well, if it isn't Gary Cooper and Frances Langford, come right in. Come in.
Hello, kids.
Hello, Eddie.
Hello, Eddie. Say, I hope we're not late, Eddie. You see, Frances offered me a ride over, and when we got to a lonely spot, she pulled over to the side of the road and stopped and said there was something wrong with the ignition.
Well, it could happen, couldn't it?
Not to us. We were riding on her horse.
But wasn't it romantic, Gary? Just we two on my little cow pony, cantering through the hills in the moonlight.
Yeah, but I wish you'd got a taller horse.
Why?
Well, I had to run all the way.
I hear you bought a new horse, Coop.
Well, he wasn't new. I bought him from Bing Crosby. He's holding an end of the season sale.
How old is he, Gary?
Oh, I don't know. He's pretty venerable. In fact, he's so old and respected every time he passes the judge's stand, the judges stand.
Well, is he as bad as all that?
He's so swayback he looks like a capital M.
Well, he's a little bent. But when he runs in a race, they put high heels on his shoes to keep his stomach from scraping the ground.
Well, at least he has a place to rest his stomach.
He must be a lot of trouble, Gary. When you put a saddle on him, how do you buckle the strap under his stomach?
Why just stand him over a hole?
There's the doorbell again. Pardon me a minute. That must be the new butler and maid.
Hi, Bud.
My name is Arnold.
Well, look, Arnold, is that... Oh, are you Mr. Edward Arnold?
That's right.
Well, I'm glad to know you, Eddie. I want you to meet my wife, Molly.
How do you do, I'm sure.
How do you do? Would you
Now,
mind...
look, Eddie, I got a letter here that will explain who we are and what we come
Oh,
to.
that isn't necessary at all. I've been expecting you. You're as welcome as the flowers in January, as they say in California. Yes, so come in, won't you? Come in.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Arnold. Oh, McGee, maybe we shouldn't. Suppose we come back some other time.
Oh, no. I'm not letting you nice people get away from me that easily. You're too hard to get.
You hear that, Molly? That's the way to play it out here. Hard to get. You sure you want us to stay, Ed?
I most certainly do. At least for the party, particularly for the party.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Okay, Bud, we'll make ourselves right at home then, if that's the way you want it. Come on, Molly, we'll go right in.
Just a moment. Would you mind going around to the back door?
Huh?
You're a rascal, Mr. Arnold. You just want to surprise your other guests. Come on, McGee.
Well, just follow me. I'll show you the way.
He most likely hears our show, Molly, and wants us to see the kitchen linoleum.
That must be it.
Here we are. This is the door.
Heavenly days, what a beautiful kitchen. Must have cost you a Prudence penny.
Well, I'm glad you like it. You're going to see a lot of it from now on.
I'll say we are, Ed. It's like I always says, all good parties wind up in the kitchen. Is that what I always say, Molly?
Yeah, your conversation is divided between that and it's a small world, isn't it?
Now let me show you around.
Say, he must think we're pretty important people to want to show us around.
Well, we're practically in pictures right now.
Think so?
He knows class when he sees it.
Now, here's the broom closet.
Broom closet?
Yes, let me show you inside. Got to straighten out that closet some of these days. Now, here's something you'll be wild about. Feast your eyes on this egg beater.
Huh?
Well, what's so remarkable
Oh,
about
I
it?
know what you're thinking, but this isn't the only egg beater. Here's another and another, and we have 3 more. Nice big ones, too. And wait a minute, I want to show you something over here.
Hey, Molly,
What, dear?
I've heard of guys collecting stamps and coins, but can you imagine a big, manly guy like him collecting egg beaters?
Well, maybe the poor lad didn't have enough eggs when he was a child.
He looks to me like he'd had plenty of everything when he was a child.
And here is a portable oven roaster. Nice, isn't it? And there's the refrigerator, 24 cubic feet. And the silverware is in this drawer, and the glassware's over here. Pots and pans in the lower shelves there. Vegetable bin is here. And that's the bread box.
Say, if he charges us 40 cents for this tour, I'm not going to pay it.
Don't you worry about us, Eddie. We'll find anything we want.
Ah, splendid. That's the spirit. Now, as soon as you're ready, I want you to come out to the party. You'll find your uniforms in the closet.
Uniforms? Did he say uniforms?
Sure, don't you get it, McGee? It's a masquerade party.
Oh.
This ought to be fun.
I'll say so. Ah, great guy, that Arnold. How many hosts would have thought of having a couple of spare costumes handy like this? Well, come on, let's get into them and join the gang. Boy, what a time we're going to have.
Now, wait a minute. Everything is going to be all right. The couple the employment agency sent over just arrived, and they will be out just as soon as they get in their uniforms. So let's start the party off with a song, only as Frances Langford can sing it. Will you, Frances?
Okay.
Fine. I'll give you a little introduction. Ladies and gentlemen...
Don't be such a big ham. Sit down and let Frances sing.
Oh, well, Oh, okay, Frances, go ahead.
There's dew upon the ground, and not a soul inside. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. I hear a distant sound. I see a far-off light. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. The murmuring waters say there's no time to delay, so hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. My heart is riding high. My blues have taken flight. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. There's dew upon the ground, and not a soul inside. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. I hear a distant sound. I see a far-off light. I'm walking by the river, 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. The murmuring waters say there's no time to delay, so hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. I'm meeting someone there
Thank you, Francis Langford. And, folks, that brings us right up to intermission time here in the Gulf Theater. We've lots more fun in store for you in just a moment. So, meanwhile, why not sit back and listen to a brief but interesting word about a woman's prerogative?
You know, they say it's the woman's prerogative to always change her mind. And for that reason, instead of talking about old man winter, I think we ought to say old lady winter, because, believe me, winter is certainly the most changeable of all seasons. One day it's freezing cold, another day it rains, then perhaps it snows, and then when you least expect it, along comes a balmy day that might very well have been left over from last spring. Now, changeable weather like that not only makes it tough for the weatherman, but it can really play hob with your automobile's performance, unless you use a motor oil and a gasoline that will give you top performance in cold and warm spells alike. And by that I mean Gulf Pride Motor Oil and Gulf No-Nox Gasoline. Because Gulf Pride Motor Oil flows freely when your motor is stone cold and gives top-notch protection after it's warmed up. Gulf No-Nox is the same way. No-Nox fires in a flash on chilly mornings and gives that smooth, quiet power plus plenty of mileage when you're on the road. That's why, with so much changeable weather ahead, it pays to get Gulf No-Nox Gasoline and Gulf Pride Motor Oil at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc.
We pick up Fibber McGee and Molly again in the kitchen of Edward Arnold's home, where Arnold is entertaining Joan Bennett, Gary Cooper, Francis Langford, and a host of others. Fibber and Molly think they're guests at the party, but Edward Arnold has mistaken them for the couple sent over by the employment agency.
Hey, you look pretty cute in that maid's uniform, Molly. How am I as a butler?
Well, for masquerade, I guess you're all right. But if you worked for me in that outfit,
Huh?
I wouldn't let you serve dinner out of a bucket in the 17th floor of an uncompleted skyscraper.
I'll never forget the last masquerade we went to. You danced around for 2 hours with a suit of armor before you found out there was nobody in it.
Oh, yeah? Well, I knew after the first 3 minutes, but it was nice to dance with somebody who didn't talk all the time.
Well, come on, let's join the party.
Ah, there you are, folks. I want you to meet a very nice couple.
The name is Fibber McGee and Molly.
Here, McGee, take this tray of cocktails.
What?
I say take this tray of cocktails.
Oh, shucks, Ed. I can't drink all those by myself. I'm not much of a drinker, you know.
I mean, pass them around.
Huh? Oh, sure. Why not?
And you, Molly, take this tray of canapes. Huh?
Well, thanks, Mr. Arnold, but I'll just take this top one with the anchovies on.
Take the tray and pass it around.
What?
Did you get the idea, Molly? He wants us to pass the stuff around so we can get acquainted with the guests.
Well, isn't he the tactful one, though?
Have a cocktail, Bud?
Thank you.
Say, you're Gary Cooper, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Gary Cooper. Are you disappointed?
No, not exactly. But the last time I saw you in a picture, you were much taller.
Oh, no, McGee, you were sitting way over on the side.
Maybe that's what it was. But I sure like the way you ride a horse, Coop. I like that one trick especially where you lean over and pick up your hat. You know, Molly and I do a trick just like that.
Is Molly a horsewoman?
Oh, no, I'm the one that gets up on the horse. Then at galloping speed, I lean over and pick up my hat.
Then what does Molly do?
I pick up McGee.
I beg your pardon, but may I have one of these cocktails?
I certainly, sis.
I'll take this one.
Yeah, that looks a little strong. Let me taste it first. No, that's all right. Here you are.
Never mind, I'll take this tall drink, but I'd like to get the cherry out of the glass first.
Well, I'd be glad to do it for you, Miss Bennett, but I don't think my fingers are long enough. You got a pencil?
McGee, come over here.
Okay. What you want, Eddie, old pal?
I'll pass the rest of the cocktails around. You bring the food out of the kitchen.
Oh, that's all right, Eddie. I don't mind passing the tray around. You bring the food out of the kitchen.
What?
And you better make some more canopies, Mr. Arnold. My tray is empty.
What, the whole tray?
Yes, and they were mighty good, too. Oh, McGee.
Rabbits slipped right out of my hand. Quick, Eddie, get a mop.
What?
To see if you can find the next one. I'd be glad to mop up the floor with you.
Oh, yeah? And how would you like to have me mop up the floor with you?
Say, listen. What's the difference who mops up the floor with who as long as the floor gets clean?
Now, never mind. I'll get in the kitchen and bring out some food.
What was that?
Now, wait a minute, Si. Don't get yourself all huffy. You can't order me around like a lowly manual.
No, you mean menu, McGee.
He means menu.
Well, then what's manual mean?
It's a name in Portuguese.
Oh, ho, so he's calling me names in Portuguese, is he? Now, look here, Arnold.
You look here. If you don't get out in that kitchen, I'll show
Don't
you.
lose your temper.
Well, I know, but he's got no right to
Well,
talk.
remember what a time you had getting this couple.
Now, listen here. If you want us to go out in the kitchen and get some food, say please.
Say, for heaven's sake, Eddie, say please and let them bring in some food. I'm starved.
You heard what Coop said.
Nah, you're a hard man, McGee. All right, please. Pretty please. Would you please retreat to the culinary cubicle and reconnoiter around for some edibles?
Well, that's better.
Well, as long as you put it that way, Eddie, I'll go you one better. I'll even go out in the kitchen and rustle up some grub. A little white meat. Now a little dark meat. Now a little white meat. Now a little dark meat.
Hey, is that a chicken or a zebra?
It's a chicken, sis. Molly cooked it. She cooked that spaghetti, too.
McGee, are you sure you can carve?
Can I carve? Why, Mama was known all over Peoria as Whittler's mother.
McGee, that leg you just hacked off looks like part of the wishbone.
Can I help it if this old hen is bow-legged? How about a little chicken, Coop?
Well, I'll have a modicum.
What?
A modicum.
I'm sorry, Coop. They only come one to a chicken. Besides, you got to watch your figure if you ever expect to get anywhere in pictures.
Say, incidentally, we just saw that new picture of yours, Mr. Cooper, and it was wonderful.
Thanks.
Say, do you enjoy making that, did you enjoy making that John Doe?
Yes, and I enjoyed baking that dough, John.
Excuse me, McGee, but can I have the wishbone?
Sure thing, Joan, but I warn you, there's no meat on it.
Oh, that's all right. And I'll have one piece of spaghetti.
Just the wishbone and one piece of spaghetti? Are you on a diet?
No, I want to make a slingshot.
Well, never mind the spaghetti, Joan. If you want something really elastic, just try a slice of that chicken.
Ah, my, you folks have a wonderful sense of humor.
Hey, wait a minute. It's gone.
What, your sense of humor?
No, my wallet.
Your wallet?
Yes, my wallet's missing.
Why, that's ridiculous. Nobody here would take your wallet. We're all friends. Joan Bennett wouldn't take it. Francis Langford wouldn't take it. Roger wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. McGee,
You call me, Bud?
where is Mr. Cooper's wallet?
You can search me.
That's just what we intend to do.
Oh, now, wait a minute. You're making a big mistake, Eddie. Molly and I wouldn't do such a thing like that.
Sit down, McGee. You too, Molly.
Now, if this is a third degree...
Quiet!
Okay, Bud.
All right, Gary, you question them. And I'll stand next to you and keep smoking cigarette after cigarette, you know, like they do in the movies.
Okay. All right, McGee. We got you dead to rights, so you might as well confess. Return the wallet. Pay your debt to society, and then maybe you'll be guided back to the straight and narrow and honest way of living. Okay, Eddie, you can stop blowing that cigarette smoke.
Why? Are they weakening?
No, but it's choking me to death.
Let me handle this. Now, McGee, where were you two on the night of January 14th?
At home.
Uh-huh. And where were you on the night of February 20th?
We were at home.
Uh-huh. And on the night of March 6th?
At home.
Oh, you folks don't go out much, do you?
Hey, may I ask a question?
Shoot, cowboy.
Oh, no. He meant go ahead and ask the question.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Well, look, who is Rex St. Cyr?
Oh, Joan, you better take over.
Okay, Inspector, Eddie. Now, McGee, I want to ask you and Molly a few simple questions.
Oh, you go right ahead, Miss Bennett.
Now, what'll we get if we answer them right?
Then we'll vindicate you.
McGee's been vindicated twice. Once for smallpox and once for measles.
Are you ready for the questions, McGee?
Sure. Shoot the query to me, dearie.
Very well. These are easy questions designed to relax your mind. Now then, what are 3 and 3?
6.
Correct. 4 and 4?
8.
Now, watch out for this one. Here comes the $64 question. How much is 5 and 5?
11.
Absolutely right. You're not really a butler and maid, are you?
Of course not.
I did it. I threw them off their guard.
Ah, Master Stroke Jones. That was as good as a confession. So you posed as a butler and maid to gain admittance. You mingled among us, and then when the opportunity arose, you dipped your fingers into Mr. Cooper's pocket and lifted his wallet.
It's all clear to me now, Eddie. I reenacted every move, and I know just where the wallet is.
Good. The wallet is the last piece of evidence we need, Gary. Where is it?
In my other suit.
Oh.
So, Mr. Arnold, you accused me and Molly of stealing, of being imposters, of trickling you.
I'm sorry, McGee. Very sorry. I not only apologize to you and Molly, but I want to offer the both of you a year's contract.
Hot dog.
Yeah.
Molly, at last we're going to be a success in Hollywood.
How much do we get?
$80 a month.
What? $80 a month to act in pictures?
No, to be my butler and maid.
What?
Oh, now, wait a minute there, Arnold. You can't do this to us.
85.
The idea, inviting us in here to a party and then offering us jobs as butler and maid.
90.
Holding us up to ridicule in front of your fine friends.
And a miserable $95 a month. Why, I never heard of such
Remember,
a thing.
that's with room and board.
Huh?
It
Yeah.
is?
Well, why didn't you say so?
Well, that's different. We'll take it.
Get the dustpan, Molly.
It's in the broom closet.
From that enthusiastic applause, it sounds as though our audience here in the Gulf Theater really enjoyed the show. And you can be sure that our stars enjoyed bringing it to you, because this is the stars' own program, where they always donate their performances. And Gulf, in return, gives generously to the Motion Picture Relief Fund to help build a home for the workers in the film industry who can no longer provide for themselves. Next week, we've cooked up a special dish for you when the Gulf Screen Guild Theater will present an adaptation of that delightfully mad motion picture hit, My Love Came Back. The ingredients, Olivia de Havilland, Robert Young, and Charles Winninger. Mix them all together, and you've got one of the funniest comedy romances of the year. The story of a girl violinist who gets herself romantically tangled up with the president of a music company and his business manager and his own son. So make a date with the Gulf Screen Guild Theater next Sunday. Don't miss Olivia de Havilland, Robert Young, and Charles Winninger in My Love Came Back. The music, of course, will be by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. Until then, this is Roger Pryor speaking for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and saying good night, everyone.
Fibber McGee and Molly are heard regularly every Tuesday evening. Joan Bennett is now working at Columbia on She Knew All the Answers. Gary Cooper and Edward Arnold will soon be seen in Frank Capra's Meet John Doe. Francis Langford is now appearing in RKO's Too Many Girls. Don't forget a real treat from the Gulf Theater next week. Olivia de Havilland, Robert Young, and Charles Winninger in My Love Came Back. Be sure to listen. The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Tonight, your ticket to the Gulf Theater reads Olivia de Havilland, Robert Young, and Charles Winninger in My Love Came Back. Movie audiences voted this story one of the best romantic comedies of the season. Tonight, we present its radio premiere with a sparkling score by Oscar Bradley, his orchestra under the baton of Frank Tours. There are just a few last-minute details to be taken care of, and then you'll meet our stars and our play will begin. In the few remaining seconds, I'd like to ask you if you've ever driven into a Gulf dealer's station and said to yourself, as you looked at the man beside the pump, gosh, he looks familiar. Wonder where I've seen him before. Well, sir, there are mighty good reasons for you to notice something familiar about him, more than just the features of his face. First of all, the man selling Gulf products always has a smile for you and a pleasant greeting. Then, wherever you find him, on the neighborhood corner or in a strange city, you'll notice that he takes care of your car as you want it cared for. wiping the headlights and the windshield as a matter of course, and offering to check your motor oil. In short, you'll find 35,000 other Gulf dealers from Maine to New Mexico just as friendly and as courteous as your own neighborhood Gulf dealer. The Gulf Screen Guild Theater program is Gulf's way of expressing its appreciation to the customers of good Gulf dealers, as well as a method of inviting others to stop at the sign of the orange disc and try those fine Gulf quality products and that good Gulf service. The place is New York City. The time, the present. And the story concerns three people. A most attractive young violinist named Amelia Cornell, who is a promising pupil at the Academy of Music. A young man named Tony Baldwin, who is general manager of the Monarch Musical Instrument Manufacturing Company. And a Mr. Julius Mallette, who is both owner of the Monarch Music Company and president of the Academy of Music.
Pardon me, Mr. Pryor.
Yes, sir, and who are you?
Who am I? You mean you don't know who I am? My card, sir.
Oh, thank you. Club Conga, 26 fascinating hostesses.
That's the wrong card. That's my dentist. Here.
Oh, all right. Julius Mallette, president of the Academy of Music.
Yes, I just took that position recently, Mr. Pryor, and I believe it's a great thing to help young people, kids with talent, kids with dreams and hopes.
Wait a minute. What about Amelia Cornell?
Amelia Cornell. Why, Amelia Cornell is a very talented young lady, a splendid student. My interest in her is purely fatherly. She's an artist. And what technique and what verve, what beauty, what leg. Amelia Cornell was one of the most talented young violinists we had at the Academy. It was for that reason that I felt it my duty as president of the Academy of Music to come here. Yes, my dear. Sit down.
Thank you.
What is this I hear about your leaving the Academy?
Well, it isn't that I want to leave, Mr. Millette, but I must earn some money. You see, I have responsibilities.
Oh, I never connected you with how many responsibilities do you have, my dear?
2.
2? Is that so? How old are they?
Well, one is 6.
My, you hardly look old enough to have... how old is the other one?
47.
47?
My mother and my sister.
Oh, you had me worried for a minute. I thought you had a grown family. Now, Miss Cornell, if you leave the Academy, just how do you propose to make money?
Well, I have an offer of a job with a swing band.
Swing band?
Dusty Rhodes, one of the students here, is organizing it. He plays the trumpet. He's good, too.
Well, I don't think you should rush into this, Miss Cornell. No, indeed. I'm sure something will turn up so you can stay on here at the Academy as a student.
Well, I don't see how such a miracle could happen, but it's awfully nice of you to take this interest in my career, Mr. Millette.
Oh, not at all, my dear. Now, don't worry. I'm sure everything's going to turn out all right.
Mr. Millette.
Oh, yes, Miss Cornell.
What do you think? The miracle has happened. I just received a special scholarship award, a check for $100. It means I can stay on at the Academy.
Didn't I tell you everything would be all right? By the way, do you go to many concerts? You should, you know, for the sake of your career.
Oh, Mr. Millette, I couldn't afford things like that.
Well, what a coincidence. I just happen to have here in my pocket a few tickets for the symphony, the opera, and 4 or 5 musical comedies and shows. And...
Why, Mr. Millette, I don't know what to say.
Oh, now, my dear, not another word. Your musical education must not be neglected. We'll start off with the symphony concert tonight. come in, Tony?
Oh, hello, Mr. Millette. Why, sure you can come in. You're the boss, remember?
Yes, very clever, Tony. I not only have an excellent general manager, but a comedian as well.
I don't get it. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm glad you dropped in, Mr. Millette. I wanted to ask you about some checks made out to a Miss Amelia Cornell.
Amelia? Amelia?
Cornell.
Oh, Cornell, yes. A delightful school. You used to play football there.
I'm talking about Amelia Cornell.
Oh, Amelia Cornell. Yes, she's a violinist at the academy, yes. And those checks are sort of a scholarship, a secret scholarship.
Mm-hmm. Secret from Miss Cornell or from Mrs. Millette?
Both. Of course, my only thought is to help the girl, but Molly wouldn't understand that. As far as Miss Cornell, of course, she wouldn't accept the check if she knew it came from me, but she'll never find out.
But your son Paul might. Don't forget, he's in charge of the auditing department, and he's been asking questions lately.
Oh, don't worry about Paul. He's just fresh out of college. Just charge those checks off to publicity.
I certainly get a lot of titles around here. General manager, comedian, friend, and stooge.
You're taking this all wrong, Tony. All I've been doing is taking Amelia to a few concerts, recitals, lectures, operas, musical shows, and... Oh, yes, the Beaux-Arts Ball tomorrow night. I wouldn't have her miss the Beaux-Arts Ball for anything.
Mr. Millette, I'm going to a party in Westchester. I'm late now. Well, is it my fault if your wife sprang a birthday party on you? I've got a date. No, I won't meet Amelia Cornell for you. I won't do it. I won't do it. I beg your pardon, miss, but does your name happen to be Miss Amelia Cornell?
No, it doesn't. And I've never been to Atlantic City. Fresh guy, even at the Beaux-Arts Ball.
Oh, I'd like to wring Julius Millette's neck for this.
Excuse me, but do you know what time it is?
5 minutes to 10.
Thank you.
It's all right. Hey, could your name be Amelia Cornell?
Yes. Why?
I've been looking all over for you. I'm Tony Baldwin. Mr. Millette asked me to find you here at the Beaux-Arts Ball and tell you that he won't be able to meet you.
He won't?
No, he was suddenly taken ill after dinner.
Oh, that's too bad.
So you see, he naturally can't get here tonight. Well, I delivered my little message. Good night.
Good night. Oh, wait a minute.
Yes?
Well, Well, what did Mr. Millette suggest that I should do?
Why, nothing. That is, he said nothing.
Oh, I see. He said nothing. Well, then I suppose I'll have to go home. Such a marvelous orchestra. I don't suppose that you want to...
I'm sorry. I have a date.
Oh, I see. Excuse me. Good night.
Oh, Miss Cornell.
Yes?
Look, if you'd really like to dance...
Who, me? Oh, no. Not in the least.
Well, I was just thinking one dance couldn't hurt.
No, really, I don't want to dance. I couldn't think of it.
Oh, come on. Just one dance.
Well, all right. Just one. Well, this is where I live.
Good night.
Seems funny to say good night with the sun almost up. I'm very grateful to you.
Oh, I'm the one who's grateful.
Perhaps we should both be grateful to Mr. Millette.
Oh, yes, Mr. Millette.
I think you're very sweet to do this for him. I suppose he's told you a lot about me.
Oh, no, not a thing. What makes you think that?
Well, evidently you know him so well.
Well, not as well as all that. Do you tell your friends about Mr. Millette?
Oh, yes, everything.
Everything?
Mr. Millette's such a nice man. Look, why don't you come to the symphony with us next week?
Well, we're very busy at the factory these days. I never know when I can get away. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, too. Good night, Mr. Baldwin.
Good night, Miss Cornell. Hello.
Well, this is a surprise.
Yes, I know. I said last night I wouldn't be seeing you again, but...
Come in. Sit down. I'll fix some lunch.
I've got bad news, Amelia. Paul Millette has found out about you and his father.
Who's Paul Millette?
Mr. Millette's son. He's also chief auditor of our company. Didn't you know he had a 24-year-old son?
He never mentioned it.
Well, now that you know, doesn't it make any difference?
No. Why should it?
Oh, that's the sort of thing that defeats me. Listen, Amelia, I'm sure you're not, well, basically bad.
Oh, I'm not, am I?
Well, just remember, money isn't everything. Not tainted money. Maybe one day, eventually, you'll find someone about my age, maybe, who'll really love you without asking anything in return.
You think that's possible, even for me?
Amelia, I'm convinced of it.
Will you please tell me what you're talking about?
Why, about you and Mr. Millette, of course. I happen to know about those checks he's been sending you.
Check. Wait a minute. You mean to say that money came
From
from...
Mr. Millette, of course. Didn't you know?
Certainly not. At the academy, they told me it was a special scholarship. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted the money.
Of course I should have known you wouldn't. And you'll tell Julius you can't accept any more money.
Oh, naturally.
Well, he sent you another check today.
Well, I'll mail it back the minute I get it.
Gee, I could kick myself for mistrusting you.
Oh, it wasn't your fault, Tony. I shouldn't have been so gullible.
Well, from now on, we'll just forget about Mr. Millette.
Well, I guess I'll have to. You see, I have a date every evening this week.
Oh, you have? With whom?
With you, silly.
Amelia.
Oh, hello, Dusty.
Say, what do you think? The swing band's been offered a build-up by the biggest agency in town.
Really? Is the solo job still open for me?
Oh, you bet. Oh, this letter's for you, Amelia. I picked it up at the academy.
Oh, it's Mr. Millette's check for $100. Golly, I must mail it back immediately.
You mean you got money to give away? Boy, oh boy, you're just the girl I'm looking for.
What do you mean?
I need $100 to pay our dues to the union, otherwise we can't get a job.
Oh, I can't lend you this money, Dusty.
Oh, but this chance means a lot to the kids. They've been rehearsing their heads off.
I'm sorry, Dusty. I just can't let you have this.
Oh. Well, anyway, just to show you my heart's in the right place, I'll stick that in the mailbox for you.
Oh, thank you, Dusty.
Oh, it ain't right. $100. Now, that's all that stands between the gang and fame. Return to sender. Ah.
Yes, what is it?
This is the auditing department. Mr. Paul Millette wishes to speak with you.
Put him on.
Morning, Tony. How do you feel?
Fine, great.
Well, I don't. Didn't Miss Cornell tell you she'd return that last check for $100?
That's right. Did it come back?
Came back from the bank.
Huh? You mean she cashed it?
Of course she did. What did you expect from a woman like that?
Well, that's the last straw. And after all she told me, oh, I give up. I'm through.
What was that, Tony?
Say, Paul, you drink, don't you?
Oh, not much. More than a couple, and I pass out.
Well, you're lucky. It's going to be a lot harder for me. Meet me down at the bar in 5 minutes.
There goes the Gulf curtain on Act One. The curtain will rise on Act Two immediately following our usual intermission, which is not only short, but is also especially interesting because here's a young fellow with a word about spring.
I guess a lot of families don't really know that spring has come until Mother comes home with a new Easter bonnet. Well, folks, believe it or not, spring is almost here right this weekend, because Thursday of next week is officially the beginning of spring. That means you'll be using your car even more. And there's even more reason for stopping at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc for Gulf No-Nox gasoline and Gulf Pride motor oil. Gulf No-Nox is important in helping to end that pinging, knocking sound that you often hear on warm days when you're pulling up the hill or accelerating suddenly in traffic. No-Nox is not proof under all normal driving conditions. And Gulf Pride is ideal for changeable spring weather because Gulf Pride lubricates as soon as you touch the starter and gives fine protection mile after mile, even at high temperatures. Gulf Pride forms less carbon, sludge, and varnish. It vaporizes more slowly, so you add less between drains. No wonder that throughout Gulf's marketing territory, the largest selling oil in its price class is Gulf Pride. So get both Gulf Pride and Gulf No-Nox tomorrow at your good Gulf dealers.
And now the curtain of the Gulf Screen Guild Theater rises on the second act of My Love Came Back, starring Olivia de Havilland as Amelia Cornell, Robert Young as Tony Baldwin, and Charles Winninger as Julius Millette. The next morning is a bad one for everybody. Paul and Tony are suffering from hangovers, and Millette is in for an equally bad time when he finds out that Amelia knows all about the scholarship checks. As the scene opens, they're talking in her apartment.
I've learned everything. It was nice of you to want to help me, but you shouldn't have sent me that money and let me believe it was a scholarship from the academy.
Now, my dear Amelia, it was simply an act of friendship. Surely there's no harm in that.
Oh, yes, there is, when someone else thinks so.
You don't mean another man?
Yes.
I see. A young man, I suppose. I mean, younger than I?
Yes.
Oh, you're in love with each other?
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm glad you told me. The truth is, I have a confession to make, too, Amelia. I'm a family man.
No.
I should have told you before, but I just didn't have the heart to spoil your dream.
Oh, I understand.
As a matter of fact, I have a son, Paul.
You have?
Yes, he's a mighty fine boy. He's about 8 years old.
Not really. Why, you look so young to be the father of an 8-year-old child.
Don't say another word. Don't say another word. I want to remember that last sentence as long as I live. Goodbye, my dear. God bless you.
Oh. Yes.
Miss Cornell on the wire.
No. Oh, my head.
Morning, Tony. What's the matter with you this morning? You look like a ghost with a vitamin B deficiency.
Nothing serious, Mr. Millette, just a bad headache.
Big time last night?
One I'll never forget.
Well, I won't bother you much. I want an orchestra for a party next week. I wish you could find me something unusual.
Well, how about 20 or 30 girl violinists?
No, I don't think that. Now, look here, Tony.
Tony, I just found out that... Oh, sorry, I thought you were alone.
Paul, what's the matter with you? You look even worse than Tony.
I have a headache.
Must be an epidemic. We were just discussing the orchestra for my party. Any ideas?
Well, I had a letter from an agency this morning. Raved about some swing band owned by a Dusty Rhodes.
Well, I'll leave the whole thing in your hands, Paul. Well, good morning, boys.
You look awful.
You're looking at yourself. That's a mirror. Yes?
Miss Amelia Cornell on the phone again.
Tell her I'm out.
I've told her that, but she keeps right on calling.
Then say I've left town.
Where to, Mr. Baldwin?
Any place, anywhere. Tell her I've gone to Siberia.
Amelia, please, will you listen?
Tony won't talk to me. He won't even let me ask what's wrong. I sent back the check. What more proof does he want that there's nothing between me and Mr. Millette?
Now, forget him, Amelia. You can't cry at a time like this. Look, we've got a contract. Besides, you haven't got any money, and this is the job you've been hoping for.
I don't care. I don't want to play. I want to die.
Amelia, please, you can't let us down. You're our soloist. Now, sit up a minute. Now, listen to me, please.
I'm listening.
We're going to play at a party, and we're going to swing those classics like they've never been swung before.
Whose party?
Oh, some big shot. The name doesn't matter. Now, this is our big chance, Amelia. Come on, baby. Dry your eyes and slap on your hat. We've only got 4 days to rehearse for the party.
You'll find the ballroom on the right, Mr. Rhodes.
Yeah, thanks. Go on in, kids, and tune up.
I'll tell Mr. Millette you're here.
Millette? Did he say Millette?
Now, look, Amelia,
Why didn't you tell me? Why, this is awful. I'm going home.
You can't go home. You can't let us down. All our numbers are built around you.
I'm going home.
Amelia, please.
Oh, Mr. Rhodes.
My father asked me to take care of you. I'm Paul Millette.
This is Amelia Cornell. Miss...
How do you do? Will you please? Miss Cornell. This is the last place I expected to meet you. Haven't you any regard for the... yes, Mother. This is Miss Cornell.
Oh, how do you do, my child?
How do you do, Mrs. Millette?
Mother, she came to see me. She doesn't even know Dad.
Oh.
We're old friends. We went to the same school.
Well, any friend of Paul's is a friend of mine.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Millette.
Hello there.
Oh, hello, Tony.
Hello, Mrs. Millette. Hello, Paul. I tried to get here a little... Miss Cornell.
Hello, Tony.
You know each other?
Know each other? Why, of course. You came here to see me. She doesn't even know Mr. Millette.
Oh.
We're old friends. We went to the same school.
I went to more school.
Well, come, Paul. Help me find your father. We'll be back in a moment.
I really didn't wish this on you, Mr. Baldwin.
A person has to be very callous to do what you're doing.
If you mean my coming
A man
here...
is sometimes indiscreet outside his home, but when the other party to this indiscretion brazenly forces herself upon his family and
Just
friends...
a minute. You've had your say, now I'll have mine. You're nothing but a narrow-minded, vicious
I'm
little...
simply telling you
I'm
what...
not interested in anything you have to say. When the time comes and you find out how wrong you've been, you can come crawling to me on your knees, and perhaps then I'll listen.
Hey, Tony, everybody's gone into the barn. Miss Cornell.
I just knew you were going to say that.
Why, what are you doing here?
I've joined the swing band.
If my wife finds out, I'll swing with you.
I'm here with the orchestra, Mr. Millette.
Oh, you mean you're going to play here tonight?
You bet your sweet life I am. I wouldn't think of depriving Tony of the pleasure of hearing me. Dusty, get the boys together and we'll play as we've never played before.
That was wonderful, Mr. Rhodes. Ah, Amelia, you were superb.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Millette.
Did you really like it?
Like it? Well, I should cut a rug. Yeah, here's your check, Mr. Rhodes, and I've added a little bonus.
Oh, golly, thanks.
Julia?
Huh? Oh, yes, my dear. Yes.
Oh, I've been looking all over for you. Oh, Miss Cornell, you were splendid.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Millette.
You know, when I was your age, I played a harp.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, and I learned to play real well, thanks to a certain gentleman who paid for my scholarship.
Oh, Molly. What did you want to tell that for?
I think you're a pair of wonderful old dears.
Old? Who's old? I'll show you. Come on, Molly. Let's jive down to the floor and scrub up a little boogie beat.
Well, Dusty, I guess it's about time for us to do another number.
Wait a minute, Amelia. This check belongs to you.
All of it?
Well, anyway, $100 of it.
What are you talking about?
Well, that check you gave me to mail back, remember?
Well, I remember. What about it?
Well, I didn't mail it. I borrowed it.
Dusty, you mean you signed my name on that check?
Oh, I just had to have that money or we couldn't have played tonight.
But
Will you forgive me, Amelia?
a thing like that?
Oh, please.
Well, all right. I'll forgive you, but on one condition, and that is that you go and tell Tony Baldwin what you just told me.
Oh, no, I can't, Amelia. No, to a stranger, I'd sound like an embezzler.
And that's just what you are, young man. Now, do you tell it to Tony or to a judge?
Well, okay. Anything else you want me to tell him?
No, except, well, you might just sort of hint that I'll be out in the garden.
Amelia, wait. Oh, darling, why didn't you tell me? If I'd only known... Oh, no, don't run away, please. You've got to forgive me. Please, darling, listen to me. Oh, if you'll just let me tell you how sorry I am. Oh, please stop. I'll do anything. Anything. Listen, Amelia, you said if I came to you on my knees. Look, I'm on my knees. Oh, you're not so bad now. You're laughing.
You look so ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess I do. But I love it. Darling, I want to kiss you. Won't you let me get up off my knees?
Well, I guess you'll have to. Because I'll be darned if I get down on mine.
Congratulations, Olivia de Havilland, Robert Young, and Charles Winninger. You were splendid. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is another great star, the president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, Gene Hersholt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to make an announcement that is of great importance to the entire motion picture industry. A few days ago, the Motion Picture Relief Fund purchased more than 40 acres of land in the beautiful San Fernando Valley just outside of Hollywood. Soon on that land, we will build a wonderful home for the people of our industry who can no longer provide for themselves. This is the home that has been made possible by the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank the stars who have donated their appearances in the Gulf Theater, and I thank Gulf because Gulf has helped us bring to realization the great home that has been a dream in the motion picture industry for many, many years. Thank you, and good night.
For next week, we're proud to announce the hit motion picture comedy of the year, My Favorite Wife. The stars, Irene Dunne, Robert Montgomery, and Franklin Pangborn. Three people couldn't possibly get in a worse mix-up. Bob Montgomery is the husband whose first wife, whom he thought was dead, comes back to haunt him on his second honeymoon. Irene Dunne is the wife who comes back after 7 years on a desert island, and Franklin Pangborn is the hotel clerk who's just too confused by it all. You're bound to get a kick out of My Favorite Wife from the Gulf Screen Guild Theater next Sunday night with Irene Dunne, Robert Montgomery, and Franklin Pangborn. And the music, of course, by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. Don't miss it. Until then, this is Roger Pryor speaking for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and saying good night, everyone.
Bud Easton speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor. Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Our program tonight lists three of filmdom's top favorites: Robert Montgomery, Irene Dunne, and Franklin Pangborn. And the play is My Favorite Wife, the mad story of a honeymoon for three people. There'll be music by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. A look at the clock tells me that Irene Dunne, Robert Montgomery, and Franklin Pangborn will be on stage, and tonight's play will begin in just about one full sweep of the minute hand. And I've just time to ask you if you've ever noticed how one word can mean so many different things to different people. Take the word Gulf, for instance. Mention Gulf to an auto racing fan, and he'll remember the 33 speed records made with no-NOx gasoline and Gulf Pride oil on the Bonneville salt flats. Mention Gulf to Gene Hersholt, and he'll immediately think of the Gulf Theater and how it helps the Motion Picture Relief Fund. Then again, mention Gulf to Mrs. Tom Carpenter, and she'll immediately think of the friendly, helpful service she gets from her neighborhood good Gulf dealer. You see, Mrs. Carpenter is a housewife and isn't able to take care of all the many little things about her automobile that really need attention. But when she drives into her good Gulf dealers for Gulf no-NOx gasoline or Gulf Pride motor oil, the Gulf dealer gives her those extra courtesy services that mean so much. For example, he wipes the windshield, checks the tires, the radiator, and the oil level, cleans the headlights, or performs some other service that makes motoring so much more enjoyable and carefree. So take a tip from Mrs. Carmody, folks. Drive in tomorrow at your independent good Gulf dealers for Gulf no-NOx gasoline, Gulf Pride motor oil, and that good Gulf service. That applause means our stars have made their appearance on the Gulf Theater stage. You'll hear Robert Montgomery as Nick Arden, Irene Dunn as Ellen Arden, and Franklin Pangborn as the hotel clerk. Now the curtain rises on My Favorite Wife.
In the court. Sounds like visiting day at the zoo. Now, Mr. Arden, as I see it, your wife, Ellen Arden, was lost at sea when her ship went down off the coast of Indochina.
Yes, Your Honor, 7 years ago.
Oh, that's sad, very sad. Poor Ellen.
Yes, sir, I'd like to explain.
Nothing to explain. You didn't push her off, did you?
No, sir, I was in New York.
Well, the law is clear. I hereby pronounce Ellen Arden, wife of Nicholas Arden, legally dead.
Oh, thank you, Judge. Now, will you please marry us?
Oh, that's quite all right. What was that, young woman?
Mr. Arden and I wish to be married.
But his first wife just died 7 years ago. Mr. Arden, do you plan to marry again?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Bianca Worthing here.
Have you had time to think about this?
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Arden is over 21. And will you please make the ceremony as short as possible?
Yes, we're driving up to Yosemite for our honeymoon.
Well, you can't expect a shipwreck on every marriage. But that's your business. Take Yosemite's, Bianca's hand in yours and repeat after me.
Grant?
Yes, sir?
See that the windows of Suite A are opened and the room aired. We're expecting a honeymoon couple, Mr. and Mrs. Arden.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I beg your pardon.
Oh, yes, madam.
Could you tell me if Mr. Arden has arrived?
No, not yet. We're expecting him any moment. Yes. You aren't by any chance his lovely bride?
No.
Oh.
No, that is not exactly.
Not exactly?
No, I'm only his wife.
Oh, I see. You're only his wife. What was that?
It's a much too long a story to go into. I'll just sit over here and wait for him, if you don't mind.
But, madam, Oh, dear, now don't tell me Yosemite's getting the overflow from Reno. Franz? Yes, run and get me some aspirin. I'm anticipating a headache. No, never mind. There's a gentleman and lady coming in. See to their luggage. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. And you too, madam. Welcome to Yosemite.
Hello, my name is Arden. I made a reservation.
Arden? Oh, you're Mr. Arden?
Yes, is anything wrong in that?
Oh, no, not if you're broad-minded. No. I've given you and your bride Suite A.
Very well. Come, Nicky, darling. Let's go up. I'm frightfully tired.
All right, dear. Just a moment, Mr. Arden.
Yes?
Could I speak to you privately?
Say, what is this?
Are you coming, darling?
Wait for me at the elevator, Bianca. Now, what's this all about?
Mr. Arden, I have a surprise for you.
Surprise? Well, why don't you send it up to the room?
Not and keep within the moral code laid down by the Hotel Association. The surprise I speak of has just crossed the lobby and is standing right behind you.
Right behind me? What the devil?
Ellen.
Nicky. Oh, Nicky, darling.
Ellen, I can't believe it. Is it really you?
Why don't you kiss me and see?
Oh, darling.
Well, is it?
Yes, you're real, all right, and sweet and wonderful and beautiful.
Oh, that's what I wanted you to say.
But where have you been for the last 7 years? We all thought you were dead.
Yes, I know. Did I have a nice funeral?
Lovely. Reverend Blake preached a wonderful sermon.
That's nice. I wish I could have heard it.
But you haven't said where you've been.
Well, I've been marooned on a desert island. And I'd still be there if a Portuguese freighter hadn't wandered 200 miles off its course.
Why didn't you write?
I didn't have a pencil.
Why didn't you wireless from the boat?
Didn't have a wireless.
How did you get here?
Well, I read about you and your bride when I got off the boat at San Pedro. I caught the first plane.
Oh, Ellen, darling, just to hold you again, to realize you're alive, to kiss you, to... I do hate to interrupt, Mr. Arden, but is this a private love scene, or may I sell tickets?
What's that?
The whole lobby is staring at you.
Oh, dear.
And may I remind you that you have a bride waiting around the corner of the elevator?
Oh, good Lord, that's right, Bianca. I'd forgotten all about her.
That's quite apparent, Mr. Arden.
You keep out of this. I've got to talk to you, Ellen. What room are you in?
Well, I haven't got any room, Nicky.
I'll take care of that. Clerk, give me another room.
Another room?
Yeah. How about Suite A, Ellen? We had that on our honeymoon, remember?
Do I remember?
Clerk, give this lady Suite A.
Suite A? About what I do with your wife?
I mean, what'll I do with her?
Well, now, I could give your wife and you Suite C.
That'll be fine. Just see that this lady gets in Suite A.
And then where will you be, Nicky?
Well, I'll join you in Suite A just as soon as I have Bianca settled in Suite C.
Right. Now, if this is a game of tag, will somebody please tell me who's it?
Come in. Well, Nicky, come on in. Did you tell her?
No, that is not yet, but I will.
But, Nicky,
Darn it, Ellen, why didn't you let me know you were still alive? Here I am, married to 2 women. Do you realize what that makes me?
A very busy man.
Well, I'm a bigger.
Oh, poor Nicky.
And how am I going to tell Bianca? After all, I can't just barge in and say, sorry, my wife came back, our marriage is off, can I?
No, that does sound a little crude for you, Nicky. Let's see. Well, do you want me to go in and tell her?
You can't. You're dead.
Well, I don't believe it.
Well, you are just the same. You were pronounced legally dead this morning.
Well, I feel awfully illegally alive. But then, you always did have that effect on me, Nicky.
Well, I could be arrested for the effect you have on me.
After all these years?
After all these years.
Oh.
Darn that phone. Hello?
Is Mr. Arden at liberty to come to the phone?
Yes, just a moment. It's for you, Nick.
Oh, thanks. Hello?
Your wife is looking for you, Mr. Arden.
I can't see how that's any of your business.
This hotel has maintained a reputation for respectability for 33 years, Mr. Arden, and we don't intend to lose it in one night.
Listen, my reputation for respectability is just as high as your hotel.
Higher?
Yes, higher.
You've been up longer.
I've been up longer.
Yeah, and, what about my reputation, huh?
Exactly. What about Mrs. That is my friend's reputation? Well, what about my friend's reputation?
The less said, the easiest mended, I always say.
Explain the situation to him, Nick.
Yes. Look, clerk, it's as simple as A, B, C.
Now, don't tell me that you've got somebody in B.
See here, Mr. Whatever your name is. My wife, that is my bride. Oh, why should I bore you with the details?
I won't be bored, believe me.
I think you would. I'll explain it when I see you.
In that case, Mr. Arden, I'll be right up.
Just a minute. Oh, he hung up.
Good.
He's coming up.
Oh, well, don't you think you'd better go?
Well, where'll I go?
Well, maybe Sweet C. You've got a wife there, too, you know.
Oh, I can't go there.
Why not?
Well, Bianca's the impulsive type. She might not understand my attitude.
Well, all you have to do is tell her what's happened.
We were just married. I think I'd better wait until morning.
Why, Nick?
Look, I got an idea. Just as soon as I leave here, you call Sweet C and say it's my office calling. Have to return immediately. Very important case.
Yes, and then what?
Bianca and I will have to leave immediately and drive all night to get back. Don't you see? And sometime during the drive, I'll be able to tell her about you.
Yeah, and what do I do? If you think I'm going to sit here while you go joyriding around the country with a married woman, think again.
Well, she's married to me.
Yes, that's just what I had in mind.
Oh, there's the clerk. Ellen, you've got to do this for me. Just a minute. Please, Ellen.
Well, all right, then.
Oh, you darling.
Oh, Nicky, you.
Well. Mr. Arden, please. Oh, yes. Hello, clerk. I was just going, yes. Well, goodbye, Ellen, and don't forget to make that call.
Never. Never in all my experience in the hotel business have I seen anything like this. Madam, I am absolutely at a loss for words.
Oh, don't let it bother you, clerk. So am I. My, isn't he the Casanova?
Oh. Oh! Oh. Well, folks, with that applause, we bring down the Gulf curtain on Act One of tonight's gala Gulf production. During our usual brief intermission, we're going to hear one of the most amazing incidents in the history of auto racing. All right, Bud.
Not long ago, George Hammond, famous racing expert, waited for the starter's flag in the famous Pikes Peak race in Colorado. George was all set. Tires and engine checked, Gulf Pride motor oil in his crankcase. Down came the flag, and away went George Hammond, winding up the dusty hairpin road, making excellent time. But suddenly, at the 14-mile post, the oil line in his engine snapped. The bulk of his supply of Gulf Pride spurted right into his face, leaving the motor with only a tiny fraction left. Recklessly, he piled on the power, finished second, and was mighty pleased to find his motor undamaged, thanks to the marvelous protective power of the Gulf Pride that had remained. Of course, you motorists don't travel at present-day racing speeds. But remember this, even the conservative touring speeds of today are actually higher than the speed records of a few decades ago. That means that motor oil gets a lot of punishment, that you really need the protection of an extra fine motor oil such as Gulf Pride. You see, Gulf Pride motor oil is refined not only by ordinary methods, but also by the famous Alchlor process that Gulf alone uses. As a result, it's extra tough, extra durable. So why not stop at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc tomorrow and get Gulf Pride motor oil?
Now the curtain of the Gulf Screen Guild Theater is ready to rise on the second act of My Favorite Wife, adapted for radio by Bill Hampton and starring Irene Dunn as Ellen Arden and Robert Montgomery as Nick Arden. It's the next day, and Nick, having taken advantage of the fake telephone call from his first wife, Ellen, has been driving all night, with his second wife, Bianca, pouting and angry beside him. But what Nick doesn't know is that Ellen has taken the plane and is waiting for them. As they open the front door of the house, they meet with a rude surprise.
Oh, there, Nicky. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Nicky, oh, sweet thing.
Well, isn't this a surprise?
Well, and is this the blushing bride? Well, aren't you the dullest thing north of the Nate Basin-Dixon line? Just too precious.
Oh, yes, Bianca, I'd like to have you meet us.
Nick, you kind of old thing, you.
Well, not really.
Excuse me, honey, but I know y'all don't mind my kissing the bridegroom, do you? Just a great big thrustfully kiss.
Nicky.
Go on, Nicky, honey, tell her who I am.
Well, she's visiting my mother. Yes, her mother and my mother went to school together, down south.
Oh, Howie.
Yes, a boy's best friend is his mother's friend. Well, it certainly is nice to see you again, friend.
Oh. Nicky, I bet you tell that to all your wives.
What was that?
Oh, you mustn't mind my fooling. Nicky's just too sweet, really. He was the dullest boy you ever did see, but faithless. Just like a bumblebee going from fly to fly.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, but you'll be able to hold him, honey, because y'all been there before, weren't y'all?
Oh, I certainly was not.
Oh, where'd I get the idea you were with her?
I'm not yet.
Oh, but you look awful cute and black. Oh, now, here, I keep standing, and you look so awful tired. Would you like to go up to your room?
Yes, I would. Come along, Nick.
Oh, well, I've got a couple of secrets to tell Nicky. A message from an old sweetie. You all just go and run ahead.
I'll be up in a few minutes, Bianca.
All right, I'll be waiting for you.
I just bet you will.
Too long, Nick.
No, I won't. Ellen, I could strangle you.
Oh, that would probably come easier than explaining to Bianca. Haven't you told her yet?
Not yet.
Why not?
Well,
How long does it take to tell a woman my wife's come back? I can say it in 5 seconds.
I just haven't
I
had
could say it in 2 seconds. My wife's come back, see?
Yeah,
Let her wait.
Are you coming upstairs, darling?
Yes, Bianca, I'm coming. I'll see you later, Ellen.
It must be great to have a wife in every room.
Ellen, that's not fair.
I think I ought to picket you.
Nick, are you coming out?
Yes, Bianca.
Are you you going to tell her now?
Do you think this is the psychological moment?
I call it the 0 hour.
All right, I'll tell her.
Nick!
Of course, it's going to take tact and delicacy.
But you've got what it takes, baby.
Sure I have.
Nick, I'm waiting.
Yes, I'm coming, dear.
I just knew you'd look like that in your roving pajamas, Nicky, darling.
You did?
Mm-hmm. What are you standing way over there for?
Well, nothing. I'm just not sleepy, that's all.
Oh, I am. Come and sit over here beside me, darling.
I have something to tell you, Bianca.
Well, it's about time.
No. I don't want you to misunderstand. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
Oh, tell me in the morning, darling.
Don't turn off those lights.
What, darling?
Well, I always sleep with the lights on. Besides, I'm expecting someone or something. Look, you see, there's the doorbell.
Well, you're surely not going down to
I've got to.
answer
It's an old family tradition. Head of the house always answers the doorbell. I'll get it. Must get that step fixed. Yes, what can I,
Are you Mr. Nicholas Arden?
Yes.
I'm Johnson of the American Life and Accident Insurance.
Well, this is a delightful surprise.
Huh?
Come right in, Mr. Johnson.
What?
Yes, come in. It's so nice of you to drop by.
Well, thank you. I won't be a minute. Mr. Arden, have you received any communication from your first wife, Ellen Arden?
What's that?
I thought not. It's customary to check when the company's paid out a large sum of money, but this is merely ridiculous.
What's merely ridiculous?
This rumor that your first wife was rescued from a deserted island by a Portuguese freighter.
Oh, yes.
Together with Stephen Burkett, a gentleman who was marooned there with her.
Yeah. What? A man was marooned with my wife?
According to this unverified rumor.
My wife and this Stephen Burkett were on an island together for 7 years. What else is rumored?
Oh, yes. The captain of the freighter said the woman, the one supposed to be your wife, always called Mr. Burkett Adam.
Adam?
And he called her Eve.
Eve.
Adam and Eve. Delightful fancy, isn't it?
Yes, it's a riot. Tell me, is this Stephen Burkett here in town?
Yes. I believe he's staying at the Pacific Club.
The Pacific Club, eh?
Sorry to trouble you with this ridiculous rumor, Mr. Arden. You've been very kind. Good night, sir.
Good night, sir. Adam and Eve, eh? Ellen.
Nick.
So, the island was deserted, was it?
Well, Nicky, what's the matter?
Why didn't you tell me you weren't alone on that island? Why didn't you tell me that this man Burkett was with you?
Oh, we didn't arrange it, Nick. It just happened.
7 years on a deserted island.
Why, Stephen Burkett is perfectly harmless. He broke his leg when our ship was wrecked, and he was laid up for 6 months.
That still leaves him 6.5 years.
If you could see him, you wouldn't be jealous, Nick. He's anemic.
Where is he now?
Well, he's probably at the YMCA.
Oh, the YMCA.
Yes, he always lives at the YMCA.
Oh.
You see, he's so little and mild, and like I said, anemic. And he lives at... Nick, where are you going?
I'm not going to the YMCA, Eve. I'm going to the Pacific Club. I'm just enough of a snake to want to see this anemic Adam. You're sure Mr. Burkett isn't in his room?
Yes, sir. I saw him go out to the pool.
Well, would you take me there and point him out to me? I've never met him myself, but he's an old friend of my family.
Just follow me, sir.
Is this the women's pool?
No, sir. They just hang around to watch Mr. Burkett. They go crazy every time he comes into the pool. There he is, sir, standing on the high dive.
Oh, no. That must be the wrong Burkett. I'm looking for a mild, gentle, anemic Burkett.
That must be someone else. This Burkett was lost on a desert island for 7 years.
Oh, he was he?
Yeah. And the way I heard it, there was a woman lost with them. They called each other Adam and Eve.
Is that so?
And I hear she was a married woman.
No.
Yeah.
What's so funny about that?
I was just thinking of the woman's husband trying to compete with Superman there.
Huh. What's the quickest way out of here?
You can cut across by the pool.
Thanks. Anemic, is he? Stays at the YMCA, does he? Clean, upright gentleman, is he? Oh.
He's drowning. Nothing will save him. Oh, isn't he wonderful?
There you are, mister. Better watch your step. You know, next time I might not be here to pull you out. My name is...
I know, it's Adam. You eat raw meat and wash it down with tiger's milk, but it won't get you anything. Let me tell you something.
Just a minute, buddy.
Well, what do you want?
Aren't you Nick Arden?
Yes, why?
Got a warrant for your arrest.
On what charge?
Bigamy.
Bigamy?
All right, now, Mr. Arden, you just come along with us.
Certainly. Pardon me while I squish out of here. Quiet in the court. Place sounds like a monkey house. Now, Arden, as I understand it, you are charged with bigamy.
Bigamy? Yes, dear. It's a 6-letter word that means you can't count. The old no account.
And I want you to interpret, young woman, I'll tell you.
Yes, sir.
Now, Arden, what school did you go to? Harvard. I'm a Yale man myself. Oh. Now, which one of your 2 wives is legally dead?
I am, Judge.
Snappy little corpse. I guess we can declare you legally alive now. That is, if someone will swear you are alive.
I'm sure Adam would.
You leave Adam out of this. Adam? Who's Adam?
Well, he's the man who was marooned on the island with me for 7 years. I'm Eve.
Well, is that in the brief? No, Your Honor. Well, it should be. Adam and Eve marooned on an island for 7 years. That's the most interesting thing in the whole case.
Isn't it?
Your Honor, all this is irrelevant and immaterial. Immaterial? Your wife's marooned on an island with another man for 7 years, and you say it's immaterial. Why, you...
Harvard man.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Arden, I'll annul the second marriage first. That leaves you free to remarry, if that seems necessary or advisable. Well, I think I ought to wait 60 days, Your Honor. It's a difficult problem that needs to be considered calmly and rationally.
Didn't take you 60 minutes 3 days ago.
Yes, and look what happened.
May I go, Your Honor? I want to get out of here before I explode.
Yes, certainly, my dear. Should be home myself. I'm anxious to tell my wife about this case. She thinks most of my cases are dull. Well, what about me, Your Honor? Second marriage is annulled. First wife legally dead is now legally alive.
Thank you, Your Honor. Goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye? Where are you going?
Up to the old mountain cabin for a couple of months. I want to be sure I don't influence you during the 60 days you need to think this out.
Ellen, wait a minute. I didn't mean... Ellen! The old cabin looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Yes. Isn't the mountain air wonderful? Well, thanks for driving me up, Nick.
Oh, that's all right. I still don't think you ought to stay up here alone for 2 whole months.
Oh, I'll be all right. Thanks again, Nick, and goodbye.
Goodbye. It'll be sort of dark going down the mountain on those hairpin turns.
Oh, but you're such a good driver.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I don't think there's very much fog, do you?
There isn't any.
Oh.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Who's there?
It's me, Nick.
Well, I've gone to bed. What do you want?
I had a flat.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
I haven't to spare. I had to walk back up here.
Well, come in. Now, what am I going to do with you?
I didn't want to come back here any more than you wanted me.
Where do you propose to sleep?
There's a couch in the attic.
That's a good place for you.
I'll be out of here by daylight.
If you're a gentleman, you won't wake me.
You can rely on me.
I know it. You Harvard man.
Now, wait.
And now, if you want to stay up, it's all right with me, but I'm sleepy. Good night, Nick.
Good night.
Now what?
You hungry?
No. Are you?
No. I just thought maybe you were.
I'm not. I'm sleepy.
Well, then. Good night.
Good night. What is it this time?
Are you comfortable?
Very.
You look comfortable.
Thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Oh, what's the use, Ellen? You know the way I feel. I'm stuck. I don't care what happened. I don't care what people say about Adam and Eve. I always was mad about you, and I always will be.
Why, Mr. Arden, you know you haven't had time to think this out calmly and rationally.
I don't have to think it out.
Oh, yes, you do. You go away for 60 days.
I'm not going to stay away from you for 60 days.
Well, 60 days isn't so long. Now, let me see. There's December 23, 24. Well, it's just about Christmas time. I'm sorry, Nick, but you'll just have to come back and tell me about it in 60 days. We'll have a lovely Christmas.
Oh. You mean not until Christmas?
Not until Christmas. Nick!
Hello.
You again? What was that noise? What were you doing?
Getting this.
Well, turn on the light. I can't see. Good heavens, what is it?
My old Santa Claus suit. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Nick, you fool.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, darling.
Thank you, Irene Dunn, Robert Montgomery, and Franklin Pangborn. It was a great show for a great cause, the Motion Picture Relief Fund. For, as most of you know, ladies and gentlemen, every star who appears here in the Gulf Theater donates his services. And the money, which would normally go to our stars, Gulf contributes toward the building of a home for the people of the picture industry who can no longer provide for themselves. Next week, Gulf brings to the air one of